Welcome back. So, where I left you last time was we'd done all the hard work, got everything back together, got all the timing right, got everything hunky-dory, marked all the push rods up, got everything back together, lovely jubbly. So now it's the braking procedure. I'll talk you through the braking procedure. We'll go over to the bench and I'll chat to you a little bit about that. But apart from that, that's all I've got to do today. I've got loads more jobs to do on this because I've got a bit of a surprise, a bit of a teaser, which I'll tell you about at the end. And the reason why I'm doing this and the reason why I've got a lot of maintenance to do on this, because there's a reason. And it's not because of the shows this year. But like I said, I'll get to that at the end. I'm afraid, still not got a kettle here. I mean, what can I say? I've only got excuses for you, so you just have to pretend, and I'll try to get a flask or something. I'm sorry, that's all I can say. But it's no excuse for you to skip out on it, so pause this now, go and get the kettle on, and yeah, I'll catch you over by the desk. See you in a bit. Come on. Right. Nice. Ooh. Okay. So, the braking procedure. Now, I've got the new cam in, I've got the new lifters in, clean the push rods and all that, put everything back the way it should be. Now, also what I've done, because this engine is a Rover 3.5 litre V8, I don't know if I've told you that before, but measured the preload when I put the rocker shafts and rocker pedestals back on, and also turn the engine over. I've done this off camera. I've turned the engine over to listen for compression. I've had my compression gauge as well. Where are you? It's underneath my finely tuned and organised workspace, and it's hunky-dory. Now that's an important check on your list, and it should be your first check. Preload, which is where you measure the preload between your push rod and your lifter. There's a small hydraulic piston inside that lifter which the rod sits in, and oil over time will pump that up and will take up the play. However, you must measure the gap between that inside cup and the lip, because if there's too much pressure on that, your push rod will be pushing on your rocker arm, and your rocker arm will be pushing on your valve, on one of the valves, and that will not be closing enough to cause significant enough compression. So as you run, the engine won't run properly or correctly because there's not enough compression. So it's an important checklist there. Preload, and compression. So once you're happy with that, get some oil in there. You want some high zinc oil. Now they say in old diesel engine oils that they used to have zinc additive in there as standard. They don't do that now, so you have to specially get it. And so I've got mine from a company called Rye Oil, 20W50 engine oil, a low detergent, high zinc, multi-grade mineral engine oil, specially designed for vintage vehicles. Okay. Now they sell it as a race application. The whole point of the zinc in there is important, especially for, this isn't for all engines, but for hydraulic lifter flat tappet cams. So for this engine, it will aid in that braking process, because those new parts, that new cam and those new lifters that are in there are still new, they're untouched. And so in order for them to work correctly and for them to bed themselves in, they have to be worn in. Now all that means is running the engine and giving those parts a chance to wear in with each other, so that the cam wear in with the tappets and the tappets wear in with the push rods, and everything wears in together till it gets to a point where it's in its happy zone. But to get there, you've got to give it the beans. Now when I say give it the beans, I don't mean give it the beans, probably like 2 beans, okay? In order for them to wear correctly and not to overwear and for you to completely ruin the new parts you've just put in there has to be a constant stream of oil, a lubrication to it. So usually you would check your oil pressure and you would check your oil pump as well. I haven't got an oil pressure tube fitted to this, and I haven't got a gauge either that works. So all I've done is I've took the cover off the oil pump itself, and inside there is 2 gears that mesh together, and as they mesh they force oil away, and that oil is forced and channeled down a small passage in the engine, which then distributes it to the engine. I'm not going to get into that now because it's further down the line we will. The long and short of it is, the furthest point of which in that engine the oil has to reach is the rocker shafts. So what I've done, and I've just done this morning, was plumbed everything up, timing's right, plumbed everything on, took the fuel line off and blocked that with a bolt, and then I've turned the engine over with the new oil in until I've started to see oil drip out of the top of the rocker shafts. So I'm content that there's oil getting to this engine. I've also checked the inside of that oil pump as well to make sure that those gears were cool beans. There was nothing wrong with them. There's no like Lego or bits of Meccano stuck in there that shouldn't be in there. So I'm quite happy with that. So now I'm at the point where I need to run it. Now this is where it, yeah, I'll do that bit over by the car. Boom. Right, so this is the crack. So the next part is firing up and running it through its break-in procedure. Now this is where things will differ online. There's many people that say that there's different ways to do it. Now the different ways to do it that people do, good English Frank, is some say that it doesn't matter, it's usually 20 minutes to 30 minutes throughout. So you run it for 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Now they say that you run the engine up to 2,000 revs for the first 10 minutes, and then up to 2,500 revs for the second 10 minutes. And those 2 10-minute intervals can be extended to 12 minutes, 30 minutes each, or what have you. Now there are others that say that you must break the new parts in the way in which you intend to use the engine. So by that method or that train of thought, if you were going to drive this engine or race this engine or drive this car like a twat.
Look, Mr. Twat, it's pronounced thwait. Well, it's spelled twat. T-W-A-T, twat!
Then you would break it in like a thwaite. Varying the revs up and down, giving the engine the big beans. Now, I'm not an expert in any way, shape or form. I mean, you know that by now. But I would think that high revs and revving it up and down, giving it all the beans, would just wear it more than it needed to wear over that period of time. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to get it running properly first, and then bring it up to 2,000 revs, and then I'm going to hold it there, probably a bit over 2,000 revs actually, probably 2,300, something like that, and hold it there for 10-15 minutes, and then I'm going to lower those revs to I don't know. No, we'll do that. 2,000 revs for 10 minutes, and then 2,500 revs for 10 minutes. And then I believe that should do. Now, yes, that's a good question, you in the back. I'm very glad you asked. Why am I raising the revs? Why not just turn it on so it runs, get it running properly, and just let it idle? And the question there is oil distribution. I want to run this engine at least at the very lowest 2,000 revs, because I want to make sure that oil's getting everywhere. I want to make sure that that oil pump has got as much pressure as it can to distribute this throughout the engine. So that's the answer to that one. So thanks, you in the back. Thanks for that. So yeah, I'm chatting now. So all that's left for me to do is get the fuel on, and then try and get the timing right, maybe advance it a little bit, and then let's see if we can get this started. Are you as scared as I am? Fucking hell. We're on. Was that you? Bloody hell, man. Sorry. Right. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Oh dear.
Oh. So I don't know how I've done it. Well, no, I do know how I've done it. I haven't been checking when the valves were going when I was checking for top dead centre. And where I've set the timing is the opposite of top dead centre, if you know what I mean. The timing was wrong anyway. So I know what I've got to do to fix it. Here's a tip actually. If you want to find out where top dead centre is, you want to take the spark plug out of cylinder number 1, get a long old screwdriver and put that in there. And then you want to turn the engine over, watching the valves. So you'll see the exhaust valve open because it's the one above the exhaust pipe, which is the exhaust leaving. Then you'll see it close and you'll see the inlet valve open, which is bringing in, sucking in new fuel and air mixture. When that closes, that means the piston's at the bottom and it's about to come up its compression stroke. And so when it reaches the top of that, when both of these are closed and you see this screwdriver rise up and it stops, that's your top dead center. Top dead center. And that's where your ignition happens. So yeah, that's how you find out, like a hillbilly way of finding it out. So now, sort out the timing on this. Just turn the distributor around 180 degrees and give it another go, and hopefully it won't explode this time. Not ideal. Always check your work, guys and gals. Well, that should be it now. I've double checked everything again. The timing is now right-ish. The arm's now in the right place. I've changed it 180 degrees. I've turned it over. It's now correct. I've worked out what was wrong. I had found top dead center incorrectly, thinking it was because the valves were closed. And then for some reason the arm was the wrong way round. It took me ages to work it out, so I took it out, moved the arm out 180 degrees, and now it ran it, and it's backfired, it's not ran properly. So I've come back, double checked where top dead center was, found that, and this was 180 degrees, so I'm like, So now that's the right way round. This should go right. But now I'm scared, so here we go. It's either going to go right, or it's going to go completely wrong. But I mean, I don't see what else I can do. I've done everything else. Bloody hell. Cross your fingers and toes, guys. Lot of valve tree noise. That is terrifying. That is fucking terrifying. Is that supposed to be like that? I have no idea. I have no idea if that's supposed to be like that. Absolutely petrifying. Yeah, maybe I panicked. Didn't have enough time to build oil pressure. Okay, remain calm. Let's try that again. Where are we? Where's that screwdriver? Okay, yeah, remain calm. It's okay. It's all right. It's fine. It's all right. Like I said, it's fine. It's fine. first 10 minutes done. So I ran it straight off, as you heard, loads of valve trains, so I didn't achieve oil pressure. I thought turning the engine over would, before I started it, would help that, and it didn't. So loads of valve train, and I panicked, as you saw, classic. Turned it off, went again, so turned it up to about 2,500 revs until I built oil pressure. And then once it had built oil pressure, I turned it down to about 2,200 revs, and then I've held that there for 10 minutes. I've just had a bit of a break, and now I'm going to fire it up again for its second 10 minutes. So you would have seen me running around panicking as well around the engine bay. So what I was looking for there was I was checking the engine temperature, very important, nothing's overheating, and I was checking the white, remember the white paint I put on the push rods? I was checking those to check them, to make sure that they're all rotating. So it's very important that I keep an eye on those, because if one of those stops dead and stops rotating completely, that's a sign of something's wearing flat a lot quicker than it should be. But they're all rotating, thank the Lord. Some are rotating a little bit quicker than others, but they're all rotating. I'm happy with that. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. So right, I'm going to put the covers back on. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave the covers off for the second 10 minutes. Ooh. It's nerve-wracking. Right. Stand by. That's not fucking ideal. Let's give it one of those. And breathe. Right, that's the second 10 minutes done. So that's the braking procedure nipped. Now there are a couple of the push rods that are turning slower than the others, but thinking back and looking back on previous videos when this was running beforehand, I can't set the preload on each individual rocker. So I understand that some of them are going to they're going to bed differently to the others, and I'm not going to get them all perfect. Plus, I had that period of about 3 minutes, which felt like an age, where I didn't have oil pressure at the start. Now that's my bad, that's my bad. And if I had oil pressure from the get-go, I think that would have prevented that a lot better. However, as cam wearings go, I think I'm about 80% success rate. So I've got 1, 2, 3 push rods that are turning slower than the others. So I mean yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And considering this is the first time I've done anything like this, that was absolutely terrifying. The new water pump isn't leaking, hunky-dory, but there is a little bit of a coolant leak at the back here. Not much, a little bit. So I'm going to go around, I'm going to wait for this to cool down. I'm going to go around and tighten everything up again, coolant-wise. Now that that's done, I'm going to let this cool, because you remember I put that oil in there, and that was for the braking. I cannot drive using that oil because there's going to be loads of all that metal and all that surface that's been took off of the cam and the lifters to wear them correctly within, well, I say correctly, wear them together. So I need to wait for this to cool down, drain that oil completely, oil filter off. I'm going to get a tin can opener, open the oil filter and have a quick look. Then, new oil, new filter on. Crack on with it. You may as well go and get another kettle on, and I'll meet you over by the bench. Bloody terrible. Yeah, okay, it was never going to be perfect. It was the first time doing anything like this. Yeah, I got the timing wrong at the start. I mean, I'm sure everyone's done that. Yeah, rookie error, but again, yeah, timing was wrong, didn't have oil pressure at the start, so not a perfect break-in. But I'm going to say it again, I am a hobbyist. I am not a professional in any way, shape or form. I do as much research as I can. I love the cars. I love an engine which I can work on and do all the work myself. And so I do the best I can. I am in no way a professional. But with what we've got, I'm more than happy with that. At least it didn't explode and I didn't have any flat tappets or anything going wrong significantly, so oh yeah guys, well, so thank you very much for watching, and you know, I know you guys like watching, so yeah, please write down in the comments if you've had any of your, if you've broken in an engine yourself, and if there's any pointers that I've missed that I could have done with. Please let me know if you've had any experience in doing anything like this. Let me know down in the comments, because I'd love to hear from you guys if you've done. Because I mean, there'll be guys watching that've got tons more experience than me, and we could all benefit from that knowledge. So please keep it civil, but constructive criticism I'm very open to. Look forward to the next videos, which will be, I've got a few more jobs to do on this. I've got the exhaust to sort out, because as much as I love the noise, it's a little bit too loud. And the whole point of what I said at the start, I'm booked in now to go down to France to the 100th anniversary of the Le Mans 24 Hours race. So me and my partner, we're taking this, and that's in June, 27th, 28th, or 28th, 29th. End of June, anyway, end of June. And I'll take you guys along as best as we can if the weather's nice. So I've got a lot to do. I've got lower ball joints to do. I've got the exhaust to sort out, because as much as I love it, the missus gets deafened by it. And you know, a 10-hour journey is going to be difficult. So thank you very much for watching. I need to go and calm down, because I'm still reeling from all that tappet noise and the lack of oil pressure. That was not cool. I was not happy with that. So again, thank you very much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next time, hopefully.